All right, now Danny Amendola signed this new big shiny contract to join the New England Patriots to replace Wes Welker, and we'll get to the injury stuff, but can he replace Welker? Does he have that skill set?
I think he has that skill set and more. Amendola is shifty like Welker, but significantly straight line faster. I think there's upside for him in this offense that's even bigger than Welker's. Welker had 173 and 175 targets the last 2 years in New England. This guy is going to get a ton of work, Amendola, if he can stay healthy. Stefania.
Yeah, speed is great when you are on the field and running. But Amendola, last year, 11 games. The year before that, only 1 game. And the injuries are unusual. He fell to the turf, dislocated his elbow, tore his triceps. And when he was trying to rehab and come back from that, injured the triceps further. That's what ended the 11 season with surgery. Last year, subluxed his SC joint right here at the chest.
What is that?
It went backwards. Do you know how hard you have to land for that to happen? It's very, very unusual. Makes me wonder, does he have those loosey-goosey joints that we see sometimes, maybe a little bit easier to dislocate, a little bit easier to sustain an injury? And you may have forgotten, he came back from the SC joint problem, then he had a foot problem later in the year. So I just worry that
a lot of problems.
He carries quite a bit of risk.
I'm excited because I've just learned what my problem is. I have loosey-goosey joints. That's what I feel like.
But you don't hustle.
Issue here. I don't at all hustle.
They call you the human subluxation.
that is going to be my nickname tomorrow, I promise. I'll trademark that. But you know what, the one thing I will say though is it seems like he's more unlucky than injury prone because there's such different injuries here. And I do think Chris is right here. I think there's real upside here. In addition to the skill set and the huge upgrade at quarterback that he has and system that he's
Is it? You think Tom Brady's an upgrade?
Yes, I am on record as saying that. Yes. But in addition to all that, there's the Belichick factor. And I have no stat here to prove this, except that I think Bill Belichick desperately does not want to see Wes Welker do well. They want to feed Danny Amendola and be like, we don't miss Wes Welker. We don't need Wes Welker. Wait till you see what we got here.
Well, we should talk about the aspect in point per reception leagues because Welker's a guy who caught 100 passes every year for Brady.
Right.
If Amendola does that, I mean, he'd be a top 10 guy in PPR formats.
I mean, he's a borderline top 10 guy in standard league formats if he stays healthy.
Right, of course.
Wes Welker is always a borderline top 10 fantasy guy in all leagues. Point per reception all the more so, I agree. But Danny Amendola has that kind of upside. We didn't rate him that way.
No.
We were not able to get him near our top 10 simply because we're so worried about the injuries.
And I think it depends on sort of your drafting strategy and the size of the league that you're in. If you're in a 10-team league where you're only playing 2 wide receivers, which is ESPN standard, then I think you can take a gamble on Amendola because the free agent pool is deep and you can fill in. There's a lot of good wide receivers out there. If you're in a kind of a deeper league, you're in a 16-team league, something like that, maybe he's a guy that you want to shy away from a little bit because there is that risk.
He wouldn't be my top choice for that reason. I need to see now a season where he really stays on the field and remains healthy before I have confidence.
But that's a positive. If you're not going to draft him this year, that is a good sign for Danny Amendola.
Very true.
Well, is there any concerns here that the talent around him at wide receiver, tight end, I mean, we don't know what it really is going to be. So, I mean, he has to be on the field for Tom Brady to have an effective year. This could affect a lot of that New England offense.
It could, but no, I think if Amendola is out there, he is a good enough player that he will produce for fantasy no matter what they have in a receiving core. Frankly, if it's a bunch of rookies, all the better for Amendola.